So in the past like 2, 3 months, we've literally like almost 10x'd my Instagram, and then we were just booking ton of calls. A lot was coming from Instagram, so that growth there was huge. And then once we started doing that, after like the second, third week, we finally started getting back to that like 20, 30 calls booked a month, like qualified, high quality buyers mark. And we finally started piffing again.
Hello guys, hope you guys are doing good. So in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how we scaled up Faizan, almost like 8x his audience, and actually made him 10k in a single week. And this is for anyone that has any sort of like BC offer, any sort of like coaching offer. If you're trying to like scale yourself up and you're trying to like do it in a very short amount of time, I urge you to watch this whole video, because like Faizan literally went through this exact same journey. So we're going to go over everything in terms of like how he made his money, how he started booking calls, how he started converting those calls, how he made YouTube his main audience, how he almost 8x his Instagram audience. So if you're in a position where you're trying to get to that point, this is going to be for you. So without further ado, Faizan, introduce yourself to the whole audience.
Hell yeah, bro. So yeah, if you guys don't know me, my name's Faizan. On Instagram, YouTube, known as Can't Faze Me, on Twitter and all that stuff. So I've been in the info space for probably about a year now. Honestly, I ran my Legion agency for around like 3, 4 years before that. And then I got into the info space, right? I feel like it's just kind of like the next level. It's a bit of a more scalable vehicle. And, there's a lot of ups and downs, running info. And I came across Muhiz probably around like November-ish. I needed a setter, and he ended up giving me a setter. And then, the setter did really good, and he just was providing me so much value up front that, it was kind of a no-brainer to work with him, right? So that's kind of like just the intro on me, right? So right now, Legion agency, running YouTube channel, and then running the info offer.
Yeah. So let's kind of like go back to that first initial part, like the first part time that you actually wanted to like work with me. You were like, you had a problem where you were like, hey, I wasn't booking enough calls on like Twitter. Like, what did that kind of like feel like, and what was that doing for your business at the time?
Yeah, so when I started the info business, the coaching business, right? Everything was coming from Twitter, because that's where I basically had made my audience, right? I had
Mhm.
around like 7, 8K. Now I have almost 10K on Twitter. So all of the initial revenue and customers came from Twitter. And
Okay.
then what happened was Twitter got really exhausted, because what happens is when you keep posting and posting offers, what's going to happen is your customer base or your follower base is going to get exhausted. You can't really sell to them anymore. So you have to continuously make content and sell to more people. So what he did, and what he actually helped me do, was implement a setter into the Twitter business, into my Twitter account, and do a lot more outbound. We were doing a lot more content, doing a lot more like giveaway stuff, and then just really nurturing those conversations in the DMs and then booking calls. And then we were also giving power offers and stuff like that as well. I
Yeah.
remember like even Thanksgiving, he's like, yo, just run like a 50% off. And then we ended up closing someone and like got like
Yeah.
a 2K
Totally.
piff. Didn't
Yeah.
even have to hop on a call, bro. We literally
Yeah.
closed like a 2K piff from a DM. So
Yeah.
like
Literally.
a lot of stuff like that we implemented, that Muhiz really helped me implement, was like the setter stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, when I worked with him, we didn't really do any content. Like I didn't hire him for any content. We were
Yeah.
strictly doing like
Yeah. We're just
DM
like
setting,
ramming
like
that stuff.
all that,
Yeah. We're literally
just
just like,
ramming.
yeah, literally just ramming. I think at some point we even like exhausted the audience that we were ramming at that time. But like it was good though, because like what we basically had at that time was like someone just doing the hard work that you knew you had to do, but they were just doing it consistently, like every single day, essentially. And it's like I feel like a lot of coaches, they don't have that type of person that does that thing like every single day, and they're not going to be able to experience what it actually feels like to have those consistent calls coming in like all the time, essentially.
100%, dude. Yeah, it's something that I knew I had to do, but like I was not going to be sitting on my phone sending like 100 DMs a day. Like there's
Yeah,
just so much other stuff to do, you know?
exactly.
So yeah, that was like the first part of like our like working engagement, right? It was like the
Exactly.
DM setting. That's like before we got into the content stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And then from there, well, obviously you're getting good results, and you're just like, hey, like we might as well just like take you on for the whole like content stuff in general. And like basically came in, and there was like a few things that we kind of wanted to fix. It was like the main thing from like Instagram, where it was like there was basically like no traction over there, which was kind of odd for us, because a lot of our work does come from like Instagram specifically, like how we like get these appointments, how we close these deals. So to have no presence there was just like not good. So we pretty much like came in and just like overhauled that. So we built out like an exact content strategy that you,
Crazy, bro.
and like you can just like see
Yeah.
the results that you got from that. It was nuts, isn't it?
Yeah, so Instagram for me was kind of insane, honestly. That I think that was like the highlight of one of our like our working engagement, right? It was like came in, Instagram, I think I was around like 1,100, 1,000, around 1,000 followers, right?
Yeah,
But
somewhere around there.
I was posting a lot, bro. Like I was posting. Like, it's not like I wasn't posting. So I was posting a lot of short form. I was getting no traction, zero traction, right? So came in, you guys basically just took over the Instagram, right? You were scripting all the content, editing all the content, ideation of all the content, everything, right? And I was literally just like reading off the script and then just like saying it in camera, and then you guys were editing it, and we ended up. I think we're at almost at 9,000 followers now, which is crazy. So in the past like 2 3 months, we literally
Yeah,
like almost 10x'd my Instagram,
it's
which is pretty
crazy.
crazy,
Yeah,
right?
when you think about
Yeah,
it,
and
like,
then we were just booking shit ton of calls, and just a lot was coming from Instagram. So that
yeah.
growth there was huge.
Yeah, I remember the time that we had that initial thing and your phone was just like vibrating like every like 2 seconds.
Oh my, bro! I had to turn notifications off on Instagram. I still have them off now because, dude, even from those videos, I'm still getting followers and comments from
Yeah,
like a video I posted like 3 months ago,
yeah,
right?
it's
So it's
crazy.
insane. I think that video is almost at like 900,000 views
Yeah,
now.
it's probably gonna touch a mil, literally. Like it's actually kind of crazy, and like the social proof that gives you as well too is it helps because like if you're, let's say like you're trying to let's say like run ads for example, like just via your Instagram stuff, like that organic presence there, just be like, oh, he's already there, he has 9K followers, he's established or something like that. And like you kind of everything just starts to work better once you get to like that 9K, 10K followers essentially. So yeah,
100%, man. 100%. It's just like you have more social proof. People look at you as like a status, like an authority in the niche or in the industry. It makes a big difference for sure.
100%, man. And then like, so obviously you were getting those calls coming in from like Instagram as well too, and then obviously the YouTube side was coming through. So like initially, I know when you started it out,
Yes.
like the YouTube stuff was kind of like getting that gradual like pickup because like you didn't post for a while, and then once we came in, we're getting that gradual pickup, and I feel like once you just dialed in terms of like the new ideas and the new content stuff, you started booking in like those calls as well too. So how was that process like for you essentially once those calls were coming?
Yeah, 100%. So before I was working with Muhiz, I was working with people who helped me with YouTube, and we were very, very consistent on YouTube. Okay.
Mhm.
And then after I stopped being consistent with YouTube, right? And that was a very, very, very big issue. That was something that was a terrible idea, right? Because I think YouTube is like overpowered. I think it's
Yeah,
probably like one of the best platforms
yeah,
for info
100%.
businesses, for any businesses, to be honest. Because when you just have so much long form, it just makes people come into your funnel, and it just brings them to the bottom of your funnel so much faster and so much more efficiently. Like while you're sleeping, people are going through your funnel, right? You're going through all your long form. So stopped posting long form, and then we really started ramping up long form again, like 2 videos, 1 to 2 videos every single week, and we were very, very disciplined with that. And then once we started doing that, after like the second, third week, we finally started getting back to that like 20, 30 calls booked a month, like qualified high quality buyers mark.
Yeah,
And we finally started piffing again, piffing again, piffing again.
exactly.
And we got to the point where it actually got to the point. This is crazy, right? So this is something that Muhiz actually didn't have to do, and I have to kind of commend him for this, right? And so this shows that he actually kind of goes over the top for the guys that he works with, which I thought was really cool because he genuinely didn't have to do this. So when we were posting videos and I was booking calls,
Mm-hmm.
I was getting to the point where we were booking qualified calls, and I wasn't closing the calls, right? Because I just wasn't closing the calls. And when he was watching them, and when I was watching them over, we were just like, hey, like let's have someone like look at this. So Muhiz actually knew somebody who was like really good in the sales space and everything, and Muhiz paid out of his own pocket to like get me on sales training, right? So that we can close more deals, just because he believed in me and believed in the offer, because he's actually like gave me a lot of value there. So ended up hopping on that call with that guy, went through my whole entire sales process, revamped my whole entire sales process. Literally, bro, the next week we
Yeah,
piffed like three, bro.
yeah. With it
We
like
piffed like three.
crazy, bro. Like the deals
It's
we closed.
insane. That next week we started pop, and ever since then, like that like literally took me off. So
Yeah,
and he didn't have to do that, bro. He didn't have to like pay out of his own pocket to some sales trainer like help me close deals better. But that's what he did, right? It's because
no,
he actually like cared about me as a client. So
no. I
I do
appreciate that.
appreciate that as well.
No, I appreciate you too, because at the end
100%.
of the day, it's like, you always have to take the action on it. If like, I did that and like you didn't take any action from it, then it would have been like basically nothing. But at the end of the day, like what was important was like the work of what we're doing was actually showing. Like for example, we could see the call was getting closed. You could see like, people, actually piffing. And that was kind of like what was making like everyone excited. And it's like, everyone just like to move when they see like, money coming through essentially, because it just validates what
100%.
was doing essentially. Because yeah, and what I'm curious as well too about too is like so when the calls are coming in from like YouTube essentially and you're having those types of conversations, what do the YouTube conversations actually kind of look like? Like those calls in general, and what are they kind of like? Is it like where people are like pretty much like pre-sold? Like how does that kind of like work for you essentially?
So what I've definitely noticed with YouTube is that it's a lot more powerful than like other like the short form platforms, because with the
Hmm.
short form platforms, they're not really seeing a lot of the information, not absorbing a lot of information, right?
Yeah.
But with the YouTube, the thing is they're a lot more pre-sold. But there
Mhm.
there is obviously more that you have to put into the sales conversation, like to get them to the close. Like they don't just hop on the close and they're like, hey, I'm gonna buy right now.
Exactly.
But the thing is like there's just so much more pre-sold on you because you're so nurtured. So, for example, with me, a lot of these people, I have like I think I have like over 100 videos now on my YouTube,
Mm.
something like that. So people would go through my content, they see all my content, and when they see me on the calls, they're like, oh, like they feel like they already know me because like, they already have seen so much of my content. So they know my personality, they know how I talk, and they already kind of see me as a status symbol in this space, right? So they know that they can trust what I say, and they know that I'm not a bullshitter, right? So they trust what I say, and then they are a little bit more warmed up and pre-sold because they watch a bunch of my YouTube videos. So those sales calls are basically just about doing a bit of discovery, knocking down those pain points, and then once they admit that they have that pain point, walking them through our offer. And our offer was just good. Like the way that I had walked through my offer is just a good offer, right? And it just
Mm.
makes sense for people who are wanting to do what I teach people how to do to join my offer. So it just becomes an easier close. So
100%.
I would say the YouTube videos are just overpowered. Like the best clients that I have and the easiest closes I had, they all came from YouTube.
Yeah, 100%. Those are the people that hop on calls and they're just like ready to piff essentially. And it's like there's so many
Facts.
people that realize especially that they don't even want to like go, they don't like make the long form videos, they don't like make the content in general. And it's like if they're like trying to like teach someone something, they need to be consistent with it. And it's like at the end of the day, people notice, but it's kind of like sometimes hard for them. So like what would you kind of like say is like the reason why a lot of these coaches are not even consistent with like content or YouTube in general in the first place? Because they know they need to do it, but they
So
don't do it in the first place.
100%, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I still struggle with this now, right? Because the thing is like at first you have motivation, right? So you want to make the content, it's cool, whatever. But the thing is you need to have a consistent schedule and you need to have an accountability system to actually post, right?
Mm.
And that comes down to your discipline, right? So if you want to post 2 videos a week, you need to develop a system in which it makes it as easy as possible for you to make those 2 videos every single week. Because if you
Exactly.
don't have those systems in place, you're not going to record the videos. You can't
Facts.
do this stuff out of pure willpower. It doesn't work, bro.
Yeah,
It only is going to
100%.
work for the first 1 or 2 weeks, but then after that, you're going to burn out. It's not going to work. You have to have ideation, scripting, recording, editing, everything. It needs to be a whole system, right? And
Mm.
that's why you hire some people to do that for you, right?
Yeah.
So when I was doing it myself, it sucked, bro. I was relying on willpower and motivation, and the thing is, like, you get burned out. When you have other people on your team, number one, they take care of it for you, and number two, now you have a kind of an accountability on your ass and like a kind of a fire under your ass to record those videos, or else like, yeah, like what are you kind of really just paying people for? Like you
Yeah,
have to actually like do the work now,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
100%.
So it
Yeah.
kind of gives you that accountability to keep going. So for new creators, for new coaches out there who are kind of like, oh, well, I can't be consistent on YouTube. Like I can't be like, it's like, bro, like, what are you talking about? Like you can't be consistent on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, do you want to fucking make money, bro? Like, you
Yeah.
know what I
It's like,
mean?
yeah, 100%. Especially like how much like grouper it just gives you because you can be signing clients from videos that you made like 8 months ago, essentially, like if they're that really
100.
good. And
Bro,
yeah.
my biggest video that I signed clients from is my first ever YouTube video that has like almost 40,000 views now. And I posted that in like June of 2023. And that's like the number one video that people find of me. Like,
Yeah,
bro, if you type in lead generation agency on YouTube, I'm like the top search results. I'm like top three.
crazy. Yeah, just like that. And it's like that's there essentially. So if someone is like thinking about starting a lead gen agency, they search him up, boom, he's right there essentially. And like that stuff is so important because it just builds up so much authority. So it's like they see your authority on like YouTube and they're like, okay, this guy's cool. And then they check the Instagram, they see your authority, then they're like, okay, this guy's legit. And then you can then use those two platforms to kind of like match in hand because that's what we usually do. Where someone wants to book in a call, we send them
100%.
book in a call, and then everything after that just sends them to the YouTube videos. Just watch a bunch of these YouTube videos so like you can actually understand the process, and it just makes your life a lot easier to actually close these guys essentially. So yeah,
100%.
yeah. I think one thing that was also really big as well that we didn't even notice was like how much demand there was on like Instagram in terms of like how new your offer was to them. Because on YouTube and Twitter, some people are like, "Oh, lead gen agency, I've heard of it," but like Instagram, there wasn't really anyone like doing it over there. So I think like you just kind of like ate up like the
No
whole
one, yeah.
literally. So if you really wanted to, it's like you could just go to make a story post right now. It's like boom, you can just get like someone to like pay you straight away if you really wanted to. Did it cool.
100%, man.
Yeah, that's the value
100%.
of
It's like kind of
entrepreneurship.
like an untapped market on Instagram. Like no one's really talking about it,
Yeah.
right? It's like no one, honestly.
Yeah, 100%. So it's like that's kind of like I like to call it like the money button. It's like if you do it properly, you can just use the money button and you can just like print money just out there and just like get it from there because you have
Facts.
an
It's
audience.
true, bro. It's
Yeah,
true.
100%. So yeah, bro. Like I'm just curious, man. So why do you feel like? Because you mentioned something interesting. You were like, yeah, like if you don't have obviously someone doing the structure and stuff like that, it just doesn't work. Why would you say like there's a lot of coaches they know what they need to do, but they just don't do it? What would you say is kind of like the main thing and the main reason they don't?
I mean, bro, that's all a mindset issue. Like to be
Yeah.
honest, like that's nothing to do with even business, right? That's just a mindset issue,
Mm.
right? And I think first of all, I think the coaching and the info space, I think it's a great space for people to get into. I think it's like a great vehicle with a lot of leverage, but I
Hmm.
think that a lot of people think it's just easy,
Yeah,
so
they
that's why
think
they
it's
get
like
into
easy
it.
money essentially. Like they're like,
Bro, I think people are going to be very sadly mistaken when they come into this industry and they think it's
yeah,
just easy money, bro.
it's really not
Because
honestly.
yeah, it's a good vehicle, it's scalable, it has leverage, but bro, like the amount of effort and time it takes to be able to create that leverage and get that compounded effect, it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and bro, a lot of iteration. A
Hmm.
lot of iteration, right? So I don't think so my thing is like, oh, well, people are like, why can't I like make money with this, or why can't I start posting every week, or why can't I do this? First of all, bro, if you're a coach or you have an info product and you're asking yourself like, why can't I post every week? Like, bro, just go get a job.
Yeah,
I'm being so serious. Like just go
facts.
get a job where they just tell you what to do because
Fact.
like this is not for you.
Trust me, it really isn't. It's just gonna be so brutal. That's the thing, and I feel like I was even talking about this to one of my other clients, and they were just saying like something along the lines of like even sometimes owning a coaching business might be even harder than running like an agency essentially because like there's just so much stuff.
Bro, I think
Yeah,
so the thing is, it's like
what's
it's
your
all
take
about
on
what
that?
you're passionate about, what you actually are willing to do. Like when I was running the agency, I generally just didn't enjoy running the agency in terms of like the day to days and what I'm doing.
Yeah,
I enjoy this model more, but I do think this is more difficult because there's a lot more moving parts and
yeah,
there's a lot more things that you have to be skilled at. Like
yeah,
in as like a coach, an info product owner, like any you're owning a digital product, an info product, a coaching business, you have to be good at so many things: marketing, sales, fulfilling,
fulfillment. Yeah, you're
how to
doing
talk to
everything.
customers,
Your content as well too.
onboarding, everything, bro, matters. Your personal brand, everything matters. You have to be so competent at so many little things, bro. It's crazy. It's like with
Yeah,
an agency, you can make 10, 20K a month and only be good at the thing that you're selling.
yeah,
Because let's say you're selling, like, for example, I teach people how to do cold email lead gen. Like, I got my agency up to like 20, 30K a month, right? And I was only good at cold email and like sales. That's all I had to be good at, right?
yeah,
But now I have to be good at talking on camera, sales, right? Marketing, figuring out angles, direct response,
yeah,
right? After a customer comes on onboarding, making their customer experience better, right? Making everything better.
100%.
Fulfillment, everything, results, everything. Like there's so much more that goes into this stuff,
It's
right? So
so crazy.
I do believe that it's harder. I don't know about harder. I think there's a lot more moving pieces, and
Yeah,
I think that you just have to be more skilled
yeah.
if you want to do this.
100%. I agree completely because like there's so many people that kind of like look at it and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's easy money. I'm just gonna jump in, make a program, make a thing, just sell it." But they go in and like they make like zero money because they don't know anything about marketing, sales, fulfillment, and it just kind of like makes me, it just laugh. It just makes me laugh because like these are the same people that they will see programs or like done for you stuff like this, and they will just put their eye away from it because they're like, "Oh, I can do it myself," until they realize that I actually can't do it
And
myself.
dude, and another thing is like the delayed gratification of running a digital product or an info product or a coaching business is so much more than running an agency, because when you have an agency, your feedback loops are a lot tighter. And what that means is, bro, you send a cold email, you send a cold DM, you send a cold call, you can get a client from that
Yeah, hundred
like
percent.
right away. Like it's very fast. But with this, you make content, you make content, you make more content, you make more content, you get no
Yeah,
views, you get no views, you get no views. And then finally, after 2, 3 months of making content, you find something that sticks. And
yeah,
now all of the other content that you've made compounds, because now all the 100,000 people that watched this one video 3 months later are going to go to the other videos you made 3 months before,
exactly.
and they're going
And
to
then it
become
starts
customers.
compounding essentially, 100%.
And then it starts to compound. But like
And that's why a lot
you
of people
but
don't
like you
realize.
have to delay that gratification so much more than running other businesses, because with other businesses you could just send cold emails and get on a sales call and close a client, but with
Yeah,
this it takes so much more time.
100%. Exactly. I completely agree because, and that gratification, like sometimes it's like it doesn't come like that quickly as well too. Sometimes it takes even longer than like two, three
100%.
months essentially. And
Dude, it's because especially in our space, you see really big coaches, really big info product guys, right?
Mhm.
And you see them flexing like really big monthly revenue screenshots,
Yeah,
right? And they have very high profit margins. And
yeah,
there's guys out here who are probably doing like $250,000 months, 500, 600K a month with
yeah,
like 70% profit margins, which is insane. Like that's
yeah,
actually unheard of. It's absolutely insane. But
yeah.
the thing is like number one, a lot of those guys are unicorns,
Hmm.
right? And I'm not saying everyone's like no one can do it. Everyone, like you can do it, but those guys consistently created content for long periods of time,
Yeah,
got good on camera, right?
yeah,
They got really good on camera, and their message resonates with people, and it came from an organic audience,
hundred
right? So
percent.
yeah, having an organic audience is like it's broken. It's literally
Yeah,
a money printer. It's literally a money button, bro.
yeah.
But like getting to the point where you have that organic audience that will pay whatever you sell them, it takes time to build that, bro.
100%. I completely agree, bro. And it's like, especially the thing that what I've realized as well too, when touching upon like the skill type of thing, there's a lot of coaches that know that obviously there's a lot of skills that are needed to obviously market and get clients for your coaching business. But in terms of like the stuff that's out there, there's so much stuff that just kind of teaches them, and then it just kind of leaves them to just like learn it themselves and like do it themselves. As a result, like the time it takes for them to actually get closer to the goal just delays by a long time essentially. And I feel like there's so many coaches and a lot of consultants that just keep buying that type of stuff where it's like they're just showing them how to think but not showing them how to actually do the stuff essentially. Like what's your take on that?
Yeah, man. So again, bro, skill issue, mindset issue. Like, bro, you gotta do. Like, you have to do. And the thing is like, it's not just about doing, right? Especially in this business, it's it's a complete iteration. So if you know how to do something, if you do something and you're just an SOP follower, you're
Yeah,
not gonna make it in this, right? Because
no,
because you have to because this whole thing is about marketing. It's all about marketing, and in order to be a good marketer, what do? It's like an experiment, right? You set out a control, you figure out what are the variables I'm putting into this experiment, and then you see how does the market react to this. And then based on how the market reacts to this, you create iterations. You have to analyze the feedback, and then you analyze that feedback, see what that feedback says, and then you
yeah,
create new iterations based on that feedback. Like
right,
I think that's the main thing that a lot of people don't do, bro. Is like they do step one, which is follow the SOP. They follow the YouTube video that they see from someone who scaled to like whatever, 100K a month, whatever. It's like, oh, let me just do exactly what he did. But
hmm,
you don't understand. It's like, bro, that's what he did. That's not exactly going to work for you. So after you inevitably do what he told you to do and you hit a roadblock, what do you do after that roadblock?
yeah,
Right?
100%.
You have to have iteration. You have to have something where it's like you have to have a muscle where you actually use it, where it's like, hey, okay, let me try this, let me try this. You have to become curious, bro. Like if you don't do that, then you're not gonna like do anything. But again, that's why you hire people, bro. That's why I hired Muiz, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you got people, so it's a lot harder to do this stuff yourself, right?
yeah,
Because you get in your own head. You need people to kind of hold you accountable. You need people to look at your business from a bird's eye view. Because a lot of us start to look at our business very emotionally because it's our baby,
yeah,
right? So
100%.
when you have someone who's looking at it from a bird's eye view and looking at it from a very objective stance, it becomes a lot easier because those guys can just give you straight up opinions and advice because they're not emotionally attached to your business the way that you are.
Facts, exactly. And they're gonna give you like their honest thoughts, and that honest thoughts is what's gonna allow you to actually like scale and like do way better than what you're doing right now, essentially. So, nah, man, I appreciate that, bro. So, like, one thing I'll kind of like do to kind of like wrap this all up, essentially, because I don't want to like make this like super long, is what would you say for like coaches that are like trying to, they're trying to scale? Maybe they're in like a similar position to you, where it's like they've not been consistent. They know what they need to do, but like they're just kind of like struggling. What would you say is like the main thing that you would give to them in terms of like advice?
Yeah, 100%. It's a great one. So, number one on figure out is what exactly do you need help with? What is struggling? What are you struggling with, right? Like, and you have to really break that down and keep asking yourself why? Like, okay, I'm not making $20,000 a month. Why? Okay, well, I'm not getting enough sales. I'm not. Well, the reason is very simple. You're not getting enough opportunities to sell $20,000 a month. Well, why? Well, I'm not booking enough sales calls a month. Why? Well, I'm not getting enough leads. I'm not getting enough opt-ins every month on my type form or on my Calendly. I'm not getting enough opt-ins. Why?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not getting enough traffic to the page. Okay, well, why? Okay, well, now you just figured out your issue. Like, why?
exactly.
You don't have traffic. You know what I mean? So keep breaking that down into why, until you figure out the roots of the problems. And I guarantee you, bro, the root of the problem is going to be most likely one thing. You don't have enough traffic. You don't have enough volume. Okay,
Yeah,
you're not doing enough. You're not inputting enough. You're not putting enough videos. You're not making enough content. You're not spending enough on ads. You're not pushing out enough offers every day. So
yeah,
that's going to be why, right? And then number two is going to be, honestly, this was a tough one for me to figure out because I'm such a lone wolf when it comes to business. And I always hated the idea of having partners because early on in my business journey, I got burned by a lot of partners. So I
mm-hmm,
always had such like a kind of a disdain for trusting people with my business.
mm-hmm,
But the faster you kind of get over that, the easier it's going to be for you. So
yeah,
work with people, bro. Like business is a collaborative effort. You
yeah,
know, when I started trusting people to help me with my business is when I really scaled, right? Guys like Muhiz, other guys like who I'm working with, hiring people, because that's what's really going to help you scale, bro. And
100%. Which is really
investing
good.
investing your time and money into things that are going to help you scale. And what that does is number one, like for example, in these partnerships, like obviously like Muhiz is working for me for free. I'm paying him, right? But the thing is it does two things. Number one, I get an expert who's helping me grow. And number two, it puts a fire under on my ass because I'm paying him and now I have a little bit of pressure to perform and actually do the things that he's asking me to do because I'm paying him to do those things, right? So it's kind
Exactly.
of like an accountability thing. So
Exactly.
for guys who are kind of struggling, I was like, figure out why you're struggling, really break that down. Number two, really look for people who could help you, some sort of partnerships, collaborate with others. And number three, look for people when you have the money or enough to really like have bring partners onto your business. Because honestly, bro, I thought about this too. Would I rather make 100% of 5K a month, or would I rather make 70, 60% of 50K a month? Like,
Exactly.
pretty simple, bro, you know? So
100%. No,
that's what I would say to like coaches out there. That's the same exact thought process I went through too. So,
exactly. 100%, man. No, I appreciate that, bro. So, yeah, man, like any final words you'd say to them to kind of like end this off over here?
um, yeah, bro, Muhiz is a fucking G, bro. Keep watching his content, bro. This the big homie right
We're gonna
here.
go.
So, yeah, man, this guy's a young killer, man. This guy's young, man. I don't even know. I think he's like 19, 20. I'm 25, man. This guy in 10 years, bro. Sheesh.
Nah, I
Man,
appreciate
we're gonna
that,
be
bro.
running laps.
No, I
Hell
appreciate that,
yeah,
but thank you. So yeah, you
of
guys
course.
heard it yourself. So if there's something you're interested in, if you're trying to have like a similar transformation that Faizan had, or like just scale up your coaching offers or whatnot, there's gonna be a link to booking a call so we can obviously see how we can help you. Guys, it's not even that expensive,
Hit
guys.
that link, bro.
It's not even
Hit
that
that link,
expensive.
bro.
Come on, guys.
Don't be
So yeah,
playing,
guys.
bro. Hit that link.
All right, that's pretty much it for me. Appreciate you, Faizan, and yeah, thank you. Speak soon.